My name is Ashley Santamaria, and for my interview, I decided to interview Benjamin Santamaria, aka my dad, the musician. Growing up, I got to see him as a musician, but I never got to see where the passion came from. His career began at the age of 13, but his passion began at the age of 5, when he first saw his father play the organ at the church. His house was always full of music, as his older brothers were also musicians. One of his brothers even got to go to the music conservatory in Mexico. At the age of 10, playing around the church, he found an old set of drums, which he quickly put together and began to play with them. The pastor encouraged him to become part of the worship band at the church, and that's when he began to perform. At the age of 13, he got together with some of his friends to create a band. They got together to be contestants at a talent show at their church. After winning the contest, they decided to make it for real and go after a real career as musicians. At the end of that year, they were able to record their first album with 8 original songs created by them. In the following 2 years, they will tour all over Mexico, playing in different churches and different events. But at the end of those 2 years, my father decides to leave the band and join a new one. In this new band, as he also recorded albums and toured all over Mexico City, he was able to learn in more depth what the industry in the music in a Christian environment meant to be. A humble musician can make it far. That was his mentality. So when he felt that he had learned enough and experienced enough in this environment, he decides to disconnect from this band and begin his own band. In this new band, he was able to create his own music, to compose, write, and produce his own albums, his own music, his own material. He toured with this band all over Mexico, in different events, in different churches. But at the end of this band, he felt that he was at the top of his career and that there was nowhere higher to go. And therefore, after 2 albums, he retired from the music business. Now he sees himself most as a mentor to the next generation of musicians. He likes to help here and there, wherever a musician is needed, he is there to help. But he's also there to guide them and to prepare them for this environment in the Christian industry. As he connects with other bands, he's able to see how bands can be destroyed by being full of pride and with worrying about how many views they get in YouTube, how many likes they get in Facebook, and how many followers they get in Twitter. He sees that nowadays the connection between the audience is completely different from when he used to play in the 80s and the 90s. He misses the old days where he was able to play in an event with 50 or 100 people, and he was able to see how people were changing with his performance. But nowadays, artists are playing for thousands of people, and the musicians lose the personal contact with the audience, and they're not able to see how people get changed. They only see the amount of people that got there. Nowadays, he dedicates himself to teach others music and to teach them how to be humble when it comes to performing. He teaches them how to follow God rather than following themselves and make themselves full of pride. His goal for the future is to be able to find someone that is humble enough and willing enough to do God's will and be able to guide him through this rough path of being a musician in the Christian industry. And he also would like to be the producer for a new generation of music and musicians in the Christian environment.